This year, we had the opportunity to take a documentary production class. We were able to choose a political issue that we're interested in and passionate about. As a group, we decided to take a closer look into the world of animal testing in the cosmetics industry. What we found really concerned us and made us more aware of the devastation on a much larger scale than we initially thought. Our research started closer to home to see what products we each used on a day-to-day basis. We separated the products we owned into tested and not tested.
Testing, I think, is rather cool considering some of the ideas behind it.
Like an animal welfare, I am against it. I don't feel very comfortable to test on animals.
The first part of our journey took us to Victoria University to meet with Sandra McKechnie, a science researcher with an in-depth knowledge of the world of animal testing.
So the second stage in any clinical trial would be animal testing. You couldn't just test a product on one animal and say that it's effective. So usually animals are put into groups, a control group or a placebo group versus the test group where there's an intervention. And then you would test each of those groups by applying the intervention and usually assessing a series of measures before and after that intervention. With animal testing, generally what happens at the end of a trial is that the animals are euthanized.
Reflecting back on our own usage of cosmetics, we investigated people who were also fighting the good fight, which brought us to Nicole Grutch, a cruelty-free makeup artist who works with the CCF and has just as much of a flair in animal activism as she does in her profession.
I think people are getting very aware that animal testing is still very much a problem. There are 3 ways they test. There's the lethal dose test, and the lethal dose test is force-feeding the animal that product till the animals die, and then they get rid of the rest as well. So that the animals are in excruciating pain. They're just waiting to see what reaction they have and how much it takes to kill the animal with that substance. The other one they do very commonly, especially on rabbits, is the eye test. And with the eye test, they hold the rabbit in a vice, they keep the eye open and they keep dripping the product into the eye to see how long it takes till the eye starts to fester, swell, pus, explode, whatever. Again, the animals generally are put to sleep at the end of it. Not all animals survive it anyhow. Then the other one they do is the skin test. Now the skin test is where they'll take like a little animal like a guinea pig here, they'll shave the skin right down to its raw, red raw, then they start to apply the ingredient to see how much it takes to get a reaction, a rash, infection, irritation. The animal's in extreme pain. All these tests are not necessary. There are much more accurate alternative ways of testing ingredients and finished products. It is a very cheap and quick way to get a result. You can prevent it simply by never ever supporting companies that are not on the cruelty-free list.
One iconic international brand that we were lucky enough to speak with was Lush, an organic, cruelty-free brand that emphasises and advocates against all the mistreatment of animals in the cosmetic industry.
Lush has always been against animal testing, so at no point in our history have we ever tested on animals. That was one of our just absolute musts. It's one of our ethics of the company. So rather than testing on animals, we test on humans. So that's the best way to know if your shampoo is going to work well. I absolutely believe that animal testing should be completely banned, particularly for cosmetics. I think cosmetics are, they're not a necessary thing for humans. So I think to subject animals to the sheer cruelty of the testing that they go through is 100% not necessary.
Through our journey, we have discovered many varying points of view and have pushed ourselves to the limit in an effort to understand why animal testing even exists. At least, we have become more aware of what we choose to consume, put on our face, scent our skin with, and spray on our hair. What we've learnt is that we can still have these material cosmetic products and not harm our furry little friends.